Sean, the game's at 11, you go to bed at 8, you're gonna take a nap, or how's that gonna work?
Yeah, I mean, the only good news I know, it'll be 11 o'clock my players' time, and they will be happy-go-lucky. It's 11 o'clock, they're just getting up, ready to go. And yeah, if you're a coach at that time, it's a little bit harder, but you know, we'll get out there tonight. We're going to practice, try to get them to sleep tonight. Hopefully keep them up on the plane. So, and we're, you know, I don't know how many of you will be out there already, but you're welcome to come to our practice there. We did most of it. We weren't planning on doing as much as we did today, but we did. So we're just telling whoever wants to come if you want to come to the practice. I think it's at 6:30 at Coronado High School.
That was earlier, 5 o'clock, but.
What is it?
5 tonight, third local time.
Local time is 5?
Yep.
So maybe 5:30 at Coronado High School.
Cal, seems like Khalil's sort of figuring out what button
Yeah.
to push with him is like one of the maybe top
He's
priority
good.
for
Look,
you right now.
I've told the team, we got a ceiling unless he plays for us. We don't have anybody like him. He's the one. But if other guys are playing better than him, I have a responsibility to everybody. And what he hasn't done yet is figured it out. And he will. He's a great kid. He's trying. We did some stuff today. They got to talk more. But you got everybody rooting for him. He's just going to have to go play. I even told him, don't be afraid to be Tyrese. Go guard their best player, shut him out, and go 0 for 9. Don't be afraid to be Tyrese. And then they say you're player of the game, you were 0 for 9, and you were the player of the game. Don't be afraid to be that. And then the other stuff will happen.
How big a step was that for Tyrese? I mean, you talked so much about not letting your offense affect everything else.
He was proud of himself. Like he came in, I may not have played well, but I know I guarded that dude. Like he was proud of himself. And that's when you start seeing the change. It's hard because of the clutter. The clutter is the only way you get your name in the newspaper when you're in high school, in grade school, in junior, is score points. So go out there and score points. And at this point, none of that matters. And going forward, I'll be honest with you, you have to be skilled each level. If you're not skilled, you can't make it. But the whole point of it being, do you play basketball? Do you help your team win? Do you play with unbelievable effort? I told them the other day, I said, look, there are things that you control and things you don't. Coaches coach, players play. I choose how much you play. You choose how you play and what kind of effort you play with. If you want more, you play better in whatever you get. Coaches coach, players play. You want to play at that next level? Great. You're not playing a whole lot. Your family's going to walk in and talk to the coach? Players play, coaches coach. We have talented guys that are learning how to fight. That has nothing to do with offense. They're learning how to fight, how to stay connected. I told them, I don't have a magic wand. I can't do it for you. You're going to have to do it. But this is a program that lets guys go. But most of that means fight and effort and play for your team, and we're learning. And again, I'll say it again, we have to get, Khalil's got to play at a level that he's capable of playing for us to be what we need to be. And everybody knows it, everybody's watching it, and it may take time. So what if it takes them a month? Who cares? They're only going to watch him at the end of the year, and at the end of the year is when this stuff really counts. And it's taken them more time than I thought it would. Keon has kind of broken through a little bit, but why? Because I had him playing against Nick. And he had to fight Nick or surrender. He surrendered early and we kind of let him know. Not sarcastic or anything. And just let him know that you're getting killed. You can't even hold your... And he started fighting. And all of a sudden you see an aggressive player who's not worried about how cute it is. You got to fight. So, again, you know, I like the 3-guard lineup. I don't know in this game. They got some big wings. Whether we can do it, we'll see. Got to get EJ playing more aggressive. You know, going after balls, going after block shots, being in a stance longer, sprinting, subbing when you feel tired. You know, we got to get him. Nick's got to be more consistent. be more disciplined. He and Ashton's in a good place. You know, but we are what we are. I mean, we're not, I don't care where we're rated. We may be one of 30 teams, maybe 35. But we're not, like, they're saying we're the best in the country, there are a lot of bad teams.
I think there are a lot of bad teams.
Might be, and we're one of them.
Were you surprised to see Ohio State lose to Minnesota the other night?
I was, but you know what? You go on the road, you know, look, my teams historically are marked teams, so we're used to doing it. A lot of teams are not. Like, you know, you're just the next game on that team's schedule. We're marked. So our kids get used to having an unbelievable effort, and you're not surprised by it. Shots going in that you're not surprised by. Players getting 40 points, that the next game they get 8. They get 40 on you because they're playing out of their minds. They're jumping higher than there. We're used to that. Maybe other teams aren't, I don't know. But I do know this. If Ohio State isn't the best team in the country right now, they're the second best team. I mean, they're physical, they got size, their guard play, they're so well coached, they defend, they fight, they got some veterans, they're legit. And Utah, I mean, the tapes that I've watched of Utah, they play and they play different. They're big, step out to shoot. So you got to play stuff a little different. You know, the great thing with these guys, we had to change up a little bit what we did against Georgia Tech. How we guarded elbows, how we guarded out of bounds plays. And we did it within a day and a half, and these guys got it. And they did exactly what we wanted them to do. I got a smart team. So I don't want to give them too much, but there's stuff against Utah you got to do different. And we went over it yesterday and today a little bit. And hopefully I'm not confusing them, but all in all, you know, I got a smart basketball team.
John, this is a little off the topic for this particular
Hold on, is Jerry already out in Vegas?
game.
Is he?
He's
Oh,
hitting the
then I may
spots.
close down the practice. I was hoping I would see him here and say, you can come down. Did I take that back?
I don't think he's actually coming. I think he's doing one.
He won't know what's going on anyway.
Okay, a little off topic from the game. How well did you know Rick Majerus?
Well, I went out and spent time with him when he was in Utah. We had the NBA lockout, and I ended up drafting one of his guys, Keith Van Horn, and I saw him in that practice and fell in love with him there and ended up drafting him. He had a heck of a year for me. I can remember he went to LA, we played the Lakers, and he got 38 against the Lakers. But I went out and spent time with him, and a basketball genius, and one of the biggest hearted people you'd ever meet. Let me just tell you, I know for a fact, when guys got fired in our profession, if he knew you, he'd send you a check. Like, you probably need this right now. Like $5,000, I'm not talking $100. Like, if he knew, no one else knew, and the only reason I know it is because 2 of the guys told me. Like, he's the best. You know what he did for me? And he didn't do it for any reason other than, you know what? I've been in this is a tough business, and if I can help you, I will. So my respect for him, and the guys that work for him, Del Harris was with him in Milwaukee with the Bucks, and would tell you one of the best human beings ever. And I'll say it again, a basketball genius. That's all he did is basketball. Like, I'm a little bit, like, I like watching the Alaska shows, and I don't sleep in my office, and this guy was basketball. Like, he was like, you know, Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken. There are no hamburgers here, there's nothing, we do chicken. And that's kind of what he was.
John, you love coaching this team. It seems like practices are going real well.
Better yesterday, it was an absolute fist fight that, like I told him, I had more fun yesterday. And we're practicing early, and like, I'll go work out and do my thing, and then I go work out. I'm feeling better. I'm telling them when they come back, I think we may practice 10:30, go for a couple hours, and if we need to come back at night. Just because it seems like we're at our best then, the coaches and the players, versus going at 3 o'clock or, you know, later in the day. So we'll have to see. But yesterday I put Nick against EJ. I got to get EJ fighting. Nick and EJ went at each other, and let those two go. I put Tyrese against Ashton. Scramble his mind a little bit. Like, go Ashton, go after him. So you're trying to get all these guys, and in the interim, you're trying to get Khalil going. You know, you stay up nights. How do I help him break through? What is there anything I can do? Some of it is just experience. Some of it's, listen to me, reps, but not at the expense of winning and losing. You know what I'm saying? He needs reps. He needs to go through this, but we also got to win games. So it's a push and a pull. But you know, love the team, love these guys. We got 2 hard games in Vegas, both of them. We could lose both and go home on Christmas 0-2, which would not be a very good Christmas, but you almost have to surrender to that so we can just play. So I surrender to it. That could happen to us. And I walk into every game, I say the same thing. Whatever happens, I'll deal with. Win or lose, I'll deal with whatever happens so that I can just coach the game. And now I'm trying to get these guys in the same frame of mind. To surrender to the result. It could happen. We could lose. We could play like crap. We could miss every shot. We went 0 for 20 against one team in the NCAA tournament and lost. We went 0 for 20. How many times do you go 0 for 20? We did that night. So you almost have to say, let's just surrender to what could happen and play.
Cal, maybe this is an oversimplification, but it seems like maybe this is a team that rises to the level of its opponent.
We'll see, won't we?
Do you hope you think that?
We'll see. I mean, it's, you know, they get more locked in, but, you know, we're a team I would hope would go out and someone was in, Steve Smith's father was in our practice yesterday, and he said, you know, the thing came up, you guys got to get from 10 and get the game to 25. I said, yeah, we're getting it from 25 to 6. We're going the wrong way, and don't know if it's opponent or what it is, but, you know, finishing games off, we got to learn, and this will be a good one for us.
Cal, on the radio show last night, Kenny said that DeAndre Liggins is kind of a good comparison for where you would like to see Khalil.
Oh, yeah, that's
Is that the template?
Yes, and it's like I said, I just told them, why don't you pick this game and be like Tyrese? Play unbelievable defense and go 0 for 9. I mean, you know, I mean, that's the mentality and the mindset. It's all, and let me say this to you guys before we go. These kids got to fail some. If they're going to go and think they're going to do this for the rest of their life, how do you deal with failure? How do you deal when you're not playing a whole lot? How do you deal with you're not getting it or you're not, how do you take your game? How do you, are you getting enabled? Are you delusional and always blaming somebody else? Or can you self-evaluate in failure and say, I got this? Like, we support them, but again, we can't, end of the day, can't do it for them. Guys got to go out and perform, and it's hard here. I mean, you're under the lights here. All right, guys.